Hello, space travelers, and welcome back to my little corner of the galaxy. Ooh, let's see. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Ba-da-dum-bum. Oh, give me 1 second. I think I'm not seeing the chat update. Let me... So many things to remember to do. Do, do, do. There we go. Aha! So it is okay. Yeah, I wasn't seeing the chat. Sorry, guys. There we go. There we go. Okay. Do. Let's see here. Hello, souls. Hey, Jiffy. Good to see you on a lovely Monday. Yeah, it was actually a pretty nice day. Very chill day, and I always appreciate that. Let's see. You had chicken patties and fries and broccoli, and you went to the cider mill. Ooh, I haven't had me some good apple cider in a while. You got donuts, cider, hot spice cider. Ooh, yum, 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 yum. I have class. I might have to watch replay instead. That's okay, Divvy. I always appreciate you stopping by. I hope you have a great time in class. Do. Yes, I hit the button. I hit the buttons. I'm pretty sure I hit the buttons. Yes, I did hit the buttons. How is everybody? How was your weekend? You guys do anything fun? What did I do this weekend? Did I do anything fun? I went on a random nature hike yesterday. I found a hidden little trail path near where I live, so I had fun exploring. What did I do this weekend? I think it was just one of those, I just was chilling out this weekend. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Yeah, today's, I had actually a really interesting topic. I was kind of reflecting on, I've been doing a lot of thinking, when I'm hanging out by myself, I've been thinking a lot. I forgotten that I had some of my art stuff from my college days, and I was kind of going through that, and it kind of just led me down a rabbit hole of just my experience with art in school, and just kind of because I didn't know about a lot of my neurodivergent stuff, I struggled quite a bit, and I thought maybe it would be helpful to kind of talk about that part of my life. It was definitely a messy situation. Let's see. Oh, yeah, you walk the dog, Lixie? Yeah, she loves going on them walks. Soul says, my weekend was fun. Went to an anime convention. Ooh, I went to one a few weeks ago myself. I went with my friend, met a few VTubers, brought anime t-shirt and Initial D, and bought a wall scroll. Oh, that's cool. So I was kind of curious about that. How do VTubers, I'm assuming they're just on the screen at the events. I've heard about VTubers being at conventions. I have never actually seen that in person before. That'd be very interesting. Do. Oh boy. So I was able to, for now, so I'm still kind of figuring out human job situation, to be able to keep supporting myself. But for the moment, I was able to kind of shift my schedule around a little bit, so that way on Mondays and Fridays I have a shorter day, so I'm not working my butt off and then streaming in the evening, because that was kind of like, I'm usually fried after a long day of work. So I just moved some stuff around, so hopefully I can keep consistently streaming. And also being able to, like, it's the work-life balance, right? Be able to spend time with people I care about, do all the adult things that must be done. Yeah, I'm hoping this will work out going forward. We are going into the crazy holiday season, and it's for any customer facing job, it is not always the funnest. Boop. Let's see here. Yeah, so they were on the screen and they had their own space for a meet and greet. That's interesting. I'll have to look up, see if there's any like videos of that. That's really cool. Do do do. Ba-da-ba-ba. Oh man. Oh, what else is going on? Wanted to thank everybody again for coming out for the Halloween stream. That was really fun. I know I was yelling and cursing and screaming a lot, but that will definitely happen with horror games. But I found the clipping tool. You guys might have seen it in the Discord. I found the clipping tool, and I found some great moments from that stream, and I posted them in the Discord. It was really fun. I'm debating if I'm going to continue playing that. I kind of got the hang of it now, so I think I might finish it. But I was thinking of going back to Detroit Become Human and finishing that game. Any suggestions are welcome. Do, do, do. Oh, it's their slow period? Yeah, that's interesting how every job is a little like... I know it just depends on what you work in. Usually this time of year is busy for a lot of jobs. I'm always surprised if a job isn't busy. Yeah, so for today, I'm gonna try to. I have a problem with jumping all over the place, but I wanted to talk about my time with like my academics with art and how different it was from when I was in college, where now I feel like art is something like something more people can like do and go to school for, mostly because I guess because there's content creation now, right? You can be more self-made now, I feel, than when I was younger. But yeah, and I also found like some of my old like drawings and paintings from around those times. So yeah, I'll get right into it here. Before I begin, is the music okay for everybody? You wanna see how Detroit ends? Got it. Okay. Let me pull up some files. And I also, so towards the end of my little spiel here, I'll kind of show you a project I've been working on that I've been struggling with. And I realize I'm going to have to start it over because I wasn't paying attention to my Canvas DPI. So the quality is really low. Music's good? Awesome. Okay, let me pull up some pictures for you guys here. Now, I want to first like start off, I'll start with, I guess we can go back as far as elementary school. So when art first became a thing for me, like, as far as I'm aware, like we have like no artists in our family that I'm aware of. There was like a great aunt that I never got to meet that was a watercolor painter. I have a cousin, he liked to do black and white drawings, but never really that wasn't his passion, you know? And as far as I'm aware, I'm the only one in my family that has ever tried to, I got the art autism, I like to call it. No one else really ever wanted to like go down a creative path, and I don't know if it's because when I was younger, I may have mentioned a few times that I was born with two malformed eardrums. So they weren't like formed all the way, so I couldn't hear. I was practically like borderline deaf. And they did not get fixed until fourth and fifth grade, I think. So my way of communicating for the longest time, uh, but the but the button push not work. Okay, 1 second, Lixie. That's weird. It's saying it's on right now. I'm not sure what's wrong with it. Let me try again. 1 second, guys. Yes, I want to start stream. Okay, let me know if it's working now, Lixie. You know what I may have done? Hold on. Sorry, I'm still getting used to the trying to integrate vertical streaming. Let's see. Is this the vertical? I don't know. Well, if it's not, then I guess we'll just have to figure it out afterwards. Oh yeah, and before I forget, because I tend to once I start rambling, if you're enjoying your time here, or if you're new here and lurking, I would really appreciate a subscribe. If you like it here, a like would also help. I really appreciate it. I love lurkers. I love chatting. I just want everyone to feel welcome here. Okay, so where was my brain going with that? Okay, so younger Jiffy. Okay. Let's see, the ADHD is already going full force here. So because I couldn't hear very well, I could speak just fine. I had some a bit of some vocal issues. Like I had to take a little bit of speech therapy because I couldn't hear very well. So I think I just because I didn't have that wasn't a very strong sensory for me, and my eyes were kind of not the best. I got LASIK like a few years ago, and that really helped. But just bright colors, drawing things, big, bold, like how I even draw now. I've always been like that. And when I was younger, I believe that was a way I was communicate with people, like how I felt, because TLDR, an emotionally stunted household. So I wasn't taught very well how to handle my emotions or express them, but also because of the autism, I struggled a lot with meltdowns and getting overwhelmed and not knowing what would be causing my meltdowns, sensory stuff, had no idea. So all throughout elementary school, I was big on coloring books. Especially I would color in the lines perfectly and neat. I don't know how they didn't catch the autism then, but I'll kind of get into that too. I would line my Hot Wheels and my Barbies up and color within the lines. So yeah. And if you were my babysitter when I was younger, you always left with a perfectly colored picture by me. And that was me showing I cared. I would draw all kinds of things. Fashion. I'm not very good at fashion even to this day. Kendrick, hey, how are you? Welcome to the chat. I hope you had a lovely weekend, and I hope you had a great start to your week. So let's see. So coloring books. I would always make everything bright and colorful. I use that to express myself. And then, so by the time I got to middle school, that's when the cringe started, right? That's when the OCs and the Mary Sues started happening. But it was still expressing myself, right? And I got really into anime, and so far leading up to all this, I hadn't really had any schooling. In elementary school, they didn't really seem to we did our arts and crafts, but they didn't really seem to no one was honing on to the fact oh, she really is attached to this, and this really means a lot to her. I unfortunately don't have them anymore, and I'll kind of get into that point. But I've been able to compile some of my old drawings, but I don't have too many left. But I used to have folders and folders of just drawings. I kept everything. So yeah, so middle school, we're in the cringe phase. I'm my favorite Mary Sue OC that I still have to this day. Her name is Kiku. She's a dragon lady. I was really big into dragons in middle school. I was big on being a tomboy. I would always wear, side tangent, I would always wear these, gosh, they were so popular when I was younger. I would shop in the boys section a lot. I had a complex about, like, that's why I kind of go with non-binary, because gender gets kind of confusing, but like I wanted to be tough like the boys, so I would wear these button-up shirts with like dragons on them, flames and all the tribal stuff. It Oh man, the early 2000s were a fun time. Make sure I'm keeping up on chat. Um, so yeah, I might I'll see if I can find some of those older ones. I think I have some, but not too many. A lot of the art that I'm going to show today is from my college years. Okay, so middle school, I still at this point didn't want to take an art class, and some of that was due to like I never really felt supported, even with like my teachers and stuff. I was worried about like I really, and I still do sometimes, but I really have a hang up on like my intelligence. And for even now, I like I said, I've been thinking a lot. I have always felt dumb, and due to my neurodivergence, it is very hard for me. I have what's called very inattentive ADHD. Like it, hello. Yeah, it's I have a hard time paying attention, and information does not like to go in Jiffy's head. It doesn't stick very easy. I have to. I do best when I'm doing hands-on stuff, because something about that really helps with my memory. But I think because I was struggling so much in general academically, I believe I was held back in second or third grade, I think. Mostly because of my hearing loss. So I grew up my whole life. Oh, I have this physical disability, right? I have the hearing loss. And so I get my ears fixed, and I'm like, well, I can hear again, but I was still in like resource classes. I was still having like meltdown anxiety attacks. Like I just like constantly felt stupid. And like, I was, kind of was just worried about failing all the time, because, I am the only person in my immediate family that graduated high school. And so like I just felt like there was so much pressure all the time to not fail. My brother didn't do very well academically either, but he had a lot more issues than I did. And he did not get any of the help he needed. And neither did I, especially going into the middle school, high school. I was in resource, and I would, especially on tests, I have horrible test anxiety. I would just blank out. So, sorry if hopefully this is following a pattern here and this is helping you guys. I say way too much. I gotta stop doing that. So anyways, yeah, in the cringe era in middle school, that was when I was like probably drawing the most, that in high school. And I remember one time you want to talk about like getting kicked while you're down, some kid I accidentally left one of my folders of drawings in the class, and he was going around and sharing them like, oh look, she drew people kissing, blah, 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 like completely embarrassing me. And Melfi, who helped me out with my recent situation, she actually saw and could tell it was mine. And she went up to that guy and she chewed him the heck out and yanked the folder out of his hand. Oh man, she's great. I can't ever sing her praises enough. So I was intimidated to take classes in middle school and even all the way up through high school. Everyone was like, oh, the art teacher's mean in high school. And I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want that. I think deep down what it was is, and I think a lot of young people have this, like the fear of like, oh, my art's not good enough. Or, because doing any kind of artwork is an expression of yourself. And it could be really vulnerable feeling, right? And so I think I was just worried about being judged, and I wasn't really thinking about it in a like, this is supposed to help me get better. Like I didn't know the basics, like what a primary colors are, secondary colors, stuff like that, technical terms, until like I got more into college. So basically, I think something to learn from like, especially middle school and high school, if I have any young people listening, like, I know it's a scary thing to like put your work out there and you're worried about being, criticized and whatnot. But, that's the way that you grow is by learning. Don't be afraid of learning. Like everyone learns differently and at their own pace. I have to take a little extra time, and that's always been the case. And I think that's also what kept me from like doing the streaming and any of the stuff that I'm doing now, was like I just like, oh, I'm too far behind my peers. I'm so embarrassed that I should be at their level right now, but that's not how things work. We're all different. And it's okay that we're at different speeds. And so yeah, high school, again, the whole time I was there, no education on art. I'm just very much like doing everything just from watching videos or just learning as I do, like as I was drawing. And one of the worst things that I did to myself, and I like to give this advice to people, is use a reference, please. You cannot assume that you know how to draw every little thing, that it's like boop right there in your head. There are some really cool people that can visualize things perfectly in their head. But I was like, I got it stuck in my head, and I don't know if it was like a teacher or if it was people around me, but like, oh, you're cheating if you're using a reference. And it's like, no, that's not how that works. And so for the longest time, I was purposely making it harder for myself to learn to draw. One of the best ways you can learn to draw is from real life. Like take a photo of someone, and like, it's okay, trace over it, see how it's supposed to go together, how it fits together. So you can imagine by the time I got to college, I have like no academic experience with art. Everything's just been off the cuff. And that's where we're gonna start with some of the pictures. Oh no, where'd the folder go? Boop, there it is. Okay, let me see if I get this pulled up. And so my first teacher in college, I took just a plain art 101. Let me get the pictures pulled up here. Boop. Aha, here we go. Okay. So I'm sure any of my fellow artists in here who are in college might recognize this kind of bag. This is like they gave us a list of like paints and supplies and stuff, and I used to lug this thing around campus, not canvas. Oh, Jiffy. Yeah, I know. Whoops, I just noticed. One second. How long has this been on the screen? There we go. Sorry about that. I just realized I had my VTuber screen on the main screen here. Anyways, so yeah, I used to carry like, so this thing has like a big shoulder strap, and I would carry even like my textbooks and stuff with it, because it's like there was a point where I was carrying a backpack full of books and this thing around, and it was just a lot. Yeah, campus. Oh my goodness. Oh man. Okay, so we kind of go through. So my first teacher, Art 101, so she was what she liked to call herself was an expressionist artist. And an expressionist artist, basically a lot of the stuff that they do or use as materials is like, it's in it, let me just look up the exact definition just so I'm not freeballing it here. Boo, boo, boo. Expressionist artist. If I could, come on. There we go. Give me. There we go. It's characterized by the use of distorted reality, exaggerated colors, and bold brushwork to convey strong emotions and subjective experiences rather than depicting objective reality. So like, yeah, she was really big into that. So, you know, she definitely had like a lot of opinions about art. As much as we butted heads a little bit. But she did help me like open my brain up a little bit. So one of the main things was, I'm big into anime, right? Well, she's like, it just looks like you're copying this anime stuff. And I remember that like she said it in the middle of class in front of everyone, and I was kind of like proud of this thing that I drew, and completely shattered me. Like I almost started crying and almost left the room. But later what I did was, I was so upset about it that I actually had a meeting with her. Like I was really proud of myself for kind of like, I wouldn't say standing up, but I kind of just felt like she dismissed what was like right there. And see, that's what a lot of people are afraid of, right? You get into art school or you get into any kind of classes where you're doing anything creative, you're afraid of this very precious thing that you're creating being criticized. And a lot of the times that's not what's happening. The teachers are just trying to push you to the next step on things. So let me see here. See if I can get the next picture pulled up. Close that. Oops. Put that down off the screen. Boop. Let's see. How about... Yeah, I had some like... Oh, wait. 1 second. Let me go back. One picture. There we go. Yeah, so this was just... apparently, I forgotten I had this thing. This is some like reusable paper where like if you get it wet, I think the paint washes off and you soak it on the sponge over here. But I thought it was just an interesting little gadget. Let's see what else. Boop. Yeah, there's that. There we go. And I had to blur. I realized I had my name written on here, so I had to blur it out. So among the types of things that you would need this gigantic, what is this, 18 by 20 something, 24, yeah. And this is where we did a lot of like, what's called like gesture drawings and whatnot. And gesture drawings are basically like you just have some objects in front of you and you just try to like draw like and draw what's in front of you. And occasionally what my teacher would do is that she would limit the amount of time we would have to draw. So like we would start with, okay, you have 1 minute to draw this chair. Man, I could tell you I started really disliking chairs by the end of this class. So if to go along with like, you know, my issues with ADHD and whatnot, so one of my biggest things that I've realized is I definitely don't practice enough. And part of the issue is I really have a hard time sitting down and just getting locked in. Once I'm locked in, I'm good, but it's that demand avoidance. And it's very stressful for me to learn new stuff. And I think because I'm always so like worried about like, am I going to be smart enough for this, or am I smart enough? I'm not allowing myself to learn how I learn. And I thought I had gotten over some of this, but apparently I'm still pretty stuck on it. Here we go. So here's some, let me see, make this a little bigger for you. Here's some cringy anime and dragon stuff that I did. These are from 2008. I went to college for a couple years, so like, you know, it's not bad, right? It looks pretty good. Definitely looks like something I guess I would see a younger person draw. I actually had help with the one in the middle. I was reading a lot of shoujo manga at this point. But yeah, they're not terrible, but like I wasn't really like pushing my brain to think outside the box very much. As you all know, I'm very into character creation. I still am. But I try to when I'm, thank you. Thanks, souls. I try to with my character creations as I've always used them as a way of expressing like who I am. I really try to push the creativity on them. Like, it's like, all right, it's fine if I'm going to create another character, but what can I do to make this like fun or different? And I do have a little bit of hard time thinking outside the box. Let's see here. Close that one. This was done with ink. This was painted with ink. This is literally, it was part of a homework assignment. It had to paint something. This is from the view of my bed in my old my parents' house. And I thought I did pretty good. I'm not really good with furniture. Anything that's like mechanical or architectural, I'm not very good. So I'm, all right, back to, I met with the teacher, right? I sat down with her and had a meeting. And I just kind of let her know how like embarrassed or like heartbroken it was to be like told that, especially in front of everybody. And I basically, what I argued was I brought up a bunch of different animes to her. I go, yes, this is a certain style, but within the style, there's many different styles of anime. Like like the shoujo thing, for example. There's shonen, there's shoujo. Ghibli is now like an official just like style of animation, right? And I'm really glad I had that sit down with her because like I initially was like, I don't like this person, this is awful, but like we ended up having a really good conversation. And then after that, I tried to listen to what she was trying to like guide me through. And let me see if I can, which picture is it going to be? So she would really push us on like the topics we would paint about or the things that we would paint about. Oh, that's the wrong one. That's from the other. Is it on the other end here? Okay, here we go. Here's some architectural stuff. Again, not the greatest. You can kind of see the lines are kind of faint. The horizon line and the different. There we go. You can kind of see where I sketched them in. But just perspective and all that jazz. That's not my cup of tea, but I'm really impressed with people that can. Oh yeah, here's some more cringy art. Oh man, yeah, so see, I kept drawing stuff like this, and man, that guy's arm looks so broken. And you know, here we go with the dragons again. I was still very much stuck in a way of thinking, and that's the autism. I get kind of like honed in on something, and it's hard for me to make changes. So that is, I forgot about that one. Let's see here. This one. Okay, so like I said, some of these topics were very, very sensitive, and this one, I was challenged to use 4 different kinds of mediums. So this project actually really led me to become a better traditional artist, because now when I do traditional work, I really, really like using all different kinds of supplies just to kind of, make it fun. So I think I just use like paint, colored pencil, maybe some pen or whatnot. So as you can see, so this was around Easter, and I'm not religious in any way. I don't really celebrate Easter, but like I always thought it was interesting, the different, we have our religious point around that time of, Jesus here and the Easter bunny. So I just thought it would be funny. What if they had a boxing match? I don't know why I did that, but I thought it was funny. Yeah. What does it say? Battle of Icons, Easter Bunny. Easter Bunny versus Jesus, April 12th. Atheist Center. Oh my goodness. First bout begins when Jesus has risen. Oh man, I just thought it was silly. And it is a little, it's kind of expressionist, it's technically, I think that's my view of, yeah, I know, isn't it silly? I don't believe in either of these things, and I just think it's kind of silly and funny, and that's kind of where my brain was at with that. So that was one of the first projects. Let me pull up another one. Okay, so this one's going to be a little more political. I try to keep the politics off the channel as much as possible, mostly because there's so much going on right now. We should definitely be keeping ourselves educated and informed, but I get a lot of political burnout because it seems to be everywhere. So you can kind of tell maybe around the time that Jiffy went to school. And there was just, I didn't know anything about politics at this point. I'll be very honest. I didn't get into politics until way later in life. I just thought I was too dumb to understand. I didn't get it. I didn't understand the left versus the right. I'm from America. There was just so much of me not, I was so insecure about my neurodivergence and just not being diagnosed. If I had known what was going on with my brain, I might have done a little bit better, I feel. But so as you can see, we have President Bush as George. There's threats of nukes going off, and I have the oil coming out of, it was all supposedly about the oil and the whatever back then, and so like the oil spilling out of the nozzle into the shape of Iraq. We have the 2 towers in the background. And a lot of people kept saying he kind of looked like a monkey. So I was like, wait a minute, what if I made a Curious George book about George? I know, it's so again, expressionist here, a little too on the nose, I think. I still really like this. I think it's clever. So there's that one. Boop. Yeah, my first art teacher really pushed for she really pushed for let's push the boundaries of the topic that you're painting or talking about. Okay, let me get a sip of water here. Okay, sorry, I was just checking my phone. Okay, so this one, going past your limits. Yeah, so, and I think, and as someone who works with the public a lot, I see all different ages. I talk to a lot of people all the time. And as you get older, it does get harder to like take in new information. It's hard to want to change. And then you add neurodivergence on top of that. Whoa. You know, my advice is always, you got to be kind to yourself. You have to be nice to yourself. Like, what does beating yourself up or saying negative things actually do? It doesn't do anything but make things worse for you. What if you say like, hey, I learned this one thing today, and I wanted to learn this whole thing today, but I at least learned something. I did the one thing. And that's kind of, I've had to like break up my tasks or my learning. I always tell people I'm on a never ending journey of side quests. I usually have to have like a video playing or some sort of audio playing while I'm doing stuff for me to work. I really enjoy actually going to, like, we have a local art meetup here that I try to go to once a month, and I actually feel like really like empowered and like having a great time when I'm getting to talk with everybody while I'm drawing. So so this drawing, or painting I should say, we were doing not only focusing on monochromatic, which is basically take the one color from light to dark of the same color. And what's going on here in the picture came from, we just drew I think we just drew one like word out of a bucket that she had. And I got the word lips. And the dynamic that I have going on here, you know, me and my mom had some rough spots, especially like towards the end of like me living there as a kid and into my adulthood. And so I just thought it would be funny to draw, if it's kind of hard to see in her hand. So she has no mouth, the younger girl here. They're in her hand. She's lipping off to her mother. I don't know if it's readable, and the fact she's wearing a Kiss shirt. The difference that I really like the face on this one. I'll be honest. Yeah. So it was just like she's lipping off to her mother. They're arguing basically. But I don't know. I was expressing something probably that I wasn't realizing that I was feeling, because, you know, me and my mom were arguing quite a bit by that point. So I've always been told you should just draw what you feel, and like I have trouble with, and I know a few people that I know struggle with this. I have a hard time like understanding what I'm feeling. I tend to feel the emotion very strongly and not always know what's triggering it or why it happened. So that takes a lot of like self-awareness and really sitting down and going through that. And therapy, of course, as I always recommend to everyone, really helped with that. So even before I started doing like a bunch of character creation, I was still expressing myself in art in some way. Let me see if there's another one. Was that the last one from that? Oh no, this one. Okay, so this was probably, I'm a little sad it's beat up, but it is what it is. This was one of my favorite projects that I did. So if you kind of look at some of the earlier pictures, and again, I didn't have everything from this class, but you can kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, she's kind of stuck in this, draw anime, do this, whatever. This picture is like a whole scene, right? This is like what is happening in this picture. It has a feeling behind it. It kind of has an atmosphere. That's the word I'm thinking of. And basically this project was, we had to draw something mechanical, organic, and what was the other one? Architectural, I think? I can't remember. But I'm fairly big into Fallout. Don't know if you can tell by the little robot up there. He kind of looks like one of the little drones that kind of fly around in Fallout that have a radio on them, and maybe a little bit of Portal mixed in there. But yeah, it's just like, oh, what is going on? It looks like, I think what it was is I was having this robot project a memory, and it's showing like we have some, obviously some blood on the steps and an open door, broken windows, got a fly buzzing around. Something nefarious happened in this picture. And I still love it to this day, even the way I think I could have done a little darker on the shading behind him, because I was trying to give it the illusion he was projecting this image. And I was really proud of that. Really outside of my comfort zone at the time. Let's see, Okay. All right, so now I'm going to start with. So then I get to my second year of college. I ended up going to a different college, and I took a painting class. And this is kind of where I've always had like a natural like instinct when it comes to color, but this is where I started learning like, what am I thinking of? The verbiage, the art verbiage, you know, the stuff in the textbooks. You know, oops, that's the wrong one. Boop. Is it this one? Nope. I should have put these in order. Nope. Almost there. This one? Nope. This one? Nope. There we go. Okay. So this is where I started learning words. So these are just all exercises where we had to take certain colors, combinations, and paint a sphere or a square or a triangle and a cylinder. Let me see here. So this one is what's called analogous. Let me pull up what that means. See, and I'm even kind of like insecure right now. I'm just like, I should know this, but my brain just doesn't like to hold information. Analogous. I can't spell. Jiffy can't spell. There we go. An analogous. There we go. Analogous color scheme. There we go. Okay. 1 second. Did the music stop? 1 second. It sure did for some reason. Okay. Okay. So analogous color scheme basically uses 3 colors that are adjacent to each other on the color wheel. So like, so the one that I just had up, basically like yellow, orange, red, like red, orange, and yellow. They're like right next to each other, like on the color wheel. All right, let's go to the next one. Oh, I skipped it. Then we have our primary colors, red, yellow, and blue. Red, yellow, blue. Yep. So what's interesting about primary colors in the traditional space, like paintings, color pencils, is different than digital, which is red, green, blue. And it has something to do with lighting. I forget the exact reasoning on it. So again, just more. So this is where I don't do enough of this, right? I'm not practicing these fundamental things. And I did for a while. Yep, primary colors. Then we have, I think this one's complementary colors, which, as the name suggests, they are colors that complement each other. It's usually on the other side of the color wheel, I think is how that works. Like any color opposite on the color wheel. So orange and blue, red and green, purple and yellow. Those are complementary colors. Nope, I already opened that one. What's this one? This one is called tertiary. Thought it was really fun. Let me look up that one. I just want to make sure I give you guys the correct definition. Tertiary colors. Okay, so tertiary colors are created by mixing a primary color with a secondary color that is next to it on the color wheel. So yeah, orange, blue, green, and green. I think that's kind of what I did here in this picture. Oh, Yes. I know. Art class 101 with Jiffy. I'm kind of trying to get more to like, okay, so we're back at that one. So I would say it was very, very informative. Like if you are an artist, if you're, someone that's in high school or even middle school, if you're listening to this, like, don't be afraid to learn these things. Like there are fundamental things there for a reason, to help you be a better artist. I think what I liked a bit better about this college versus the first one, so sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. The first one felt like, so I was kind of making little fun jokes at the fine arts on my last week's video, right, from the museum, because back then digital art hadn't like completely exploded, or at least it wasn't as accessible as it is now. Like Procreate on my iPad, and I know the iPad's pretty expensive, but the program's only like $10, and back then, like, your choices weren't very limited, and I was like, oh, there's no way I can afford to do digital art. There's no way I can convince my parents to, buy me a tablet of sorts. And so the first school was they're very bougie. I like to say that. A lot of fine arts type creators at the first school. That school is very well known for their arts and music, and I just kind of didn't feel like it was either you become a fine artist, painter, or whatever, have your stuff in a gallery, or you're a graphic designer. And I was like, I don't know if I want to do either of those things. But I will say, definitely try a couple graphic design classes, because I'm only realizing way later in life how important design really is. Like, if I want to make merch of my art and stuff, design really does come into play on making a purchasable product. Oh, goodness gracious. Talking a lot. I have to get used to talking so much. Is this, you guys enjoying yourself so far? I hope so. do. Okay. Yeah, so then, yeet. Let's see there. Hey there, Skies. How's it going? Hope you had a great weekend. Yes, you're listening, sweet. Yeah, we're just basically talking about just my time at, like, with schooling and art and severe ADHD stuff. A lot of insecurities about learning, always feeling kind of dumb. So, what was I saying? So basically, the second college, I liked that one a lot more, because also they had more variety of like age groups. So the first college, I felt like I was, I had a bunch of people my age. We're all kind of competing. It was very competitive. That was what I was wanting to say. The other college, the painting class that I took was actually, I had like older people, younger people, everybody in between, and they seemed more like, hey, what do you think of this? Or what do you think of, like, I felt like it was more collaborative, and I really enjoyed that a lot more. Let's see here. Gamer, oh, I'm so sorry I missed this. Gamer123, hello, welcome to the chat. Thank you for stopping by my little corner of the galaxy. How are you? Yeah, so a little bit more, a little bit more collaborative, and it definitely, the homework was still really daunting, but like I had a lot more fun. And this guy was very, compared to the first teacher who was very like, she was like really wanting to push your boundaries and whatnot, this guy was like Bob Ross. and he was chill. He was an oil painter, and he paints large, massive canvases. I don't know if I remember his name, but he was a fantastic. Hey, Berry Pumpkin, how are you? How was your weekend? Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, we're just talking about my time with school and art and how different it was compared to now. So, yeah, so he was very much like Bob Ross. And let me tell you, do not take a painting class at 6 o'clock at night during the winter season with a Bob Ross instructor. Yeah, so I was kind of showing some stuff that I got that I had done in college. This was one of them. If you want to, if you go back through the video, I kind of just go through the stages of. I didn't really take an art class until I got to college, so I had my little alien butt rocked with the first teacher. She was very much like wanting to push you outside your boundaries, and she kind of devastated me at first, saying that I was just copying things. But we had a great chat. I had a great chat with her. But yeah, this one was just from one of the projects that she had us do, and this just kind of ended up being my favorite because it's not like I created like a scene, like there's something going on here. It leaves like a little bit of mystery, whereas before all I would really do was draw anime things. Here, I'll show you. One sec, I'll pull it back up. Where is it? Nope, that's the book. That's the sketch. There we go. Look at this. This is from 2008. This is basically what I was doing and drawing mostly, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just I wasn't really thinking too much outside the box. But what was the other thing I was saying? I'm sorry I keep going on tangents, but yeah, so when I was in college, again, fine arts or being a graphic designer, content creation like you see now, like I'm doing now, was not really a thing. And at least it not to my knowledge. And so I kind of just felt like I felt kind of trapped. This doesn't, like, neither of these options seem like me. But not realizing that both options could help me, do something else kind of like this. But yet there wasn't a lot of access. Like, you need, I think, Photoshop. I don't know how expensive it is now, but I think you need a monthly subscription. Clip Studio might be the same. It's not too bad, but back in my day when I was in like high school, college, the expense of it was a lot. It was like buying a new computer. I'm just like, I don't know if I can afford all this or if my parents will help me get all this. But yeah, access was limited. Getting your name out there was even harder, and with the internet and like, I don't know, I didn't really need my face attached to it either, and having VTubing has been like a really great way to express myself. Because I want my work to kind of do the talking. I guess literally I'm talking, but I also want, I don't know, I'm kind of rambling, but nowadays you could everyone's online doing art content creation, and you can reach a lot more people, but we kind of have the opposite problem now where everything's a little bit oversaturated. But I think it just kind of like gives a place for there's an artist niche for everyone out there. I just feel like there's just so much more options now than there used to be. And yeah, so let me see if I have anything else on the topic. Boop, boop, boop. Yeah, some of the paintings, some of the like practice paintings. So yeah, my biggest thing is the focusing. I can't sit down for very long. When I was in the college classes, about 30 minutes in, maybe 20, my brain's like, yeah, I'm done taking information. I had to like try extra hard to pay attention. And I really wish I had the diagnoses a lot sooner, because maybe just maybe I wouldn't have been so hard on myself. That's why I think mental health is always like my number one priority. Understanding how your brain works is very important. Ba, ba, ba. Let me see what else. Oh, right. So what I wanted to kind of go into was one of the projects that I'm working on. Let me pull it up. Kind of to show you. So since I don't draw enough or often enough, like I don't establish a pattern in my head, and so I'm not getting better faster. Yes, brain is very complex. I think I have been stunting myself a little bit because I'm not drawing enough. Let me pull up the example here. Boop boop boop. Hopefully all of that made sense. I know I tend to ramble and go on tangents. That's just how like scattered my brain is, which is why Jiffy used to have sometimes we'll have things prepared ahead of time. But the problem with having things prepared ahead of time also stresses me out. I have to think really hard about like preparing for the stream, what I want to do, and I kind of trying to, like, this took only a little bit of preparation, but I'm trying to remind myself like why I'm doing these things, why I'm creating anything. Like, you gotta have some fun with it. Art's not always going to be fun. It definitely has its boring moments. Let me see. Let me get my iPad connected. Boop. Do you guys have any stories about, like, it doesn't have to necessarily be with art, but do you have anything, like, were there things that you struggled with in school? Let's see, so one, boop. Or like, how was your time with schooling? My relationship with it has always been a little rough. Okay, let me minimize that. Boop. Okay, why is it so small? Give me 1 second. Oh, that's why. iPad, that's what I want. Boop. Haha, there we go. Okay. Yeah, I still to this day am way too hard on myself, and I think after like, especially with what's happened this past year, I've been struggling to feel like confident about myself and confident that I can do things. So that's why I like showing you guys where I mess up. That's why I leave all that in the stream. I literally said walking across the canvas earlier instead of campus when talking about school. I'm kind of a goofball like that. All right, so this is Suki. This is one of my characters I've been working on. See if I can get her in frame there. I was kind of struggling with this one. As you can see, I've been trying to get better. Learn your shapes, guys. Shapes make up everything. And I was really struggling with this one, but my process usually is, let me get rid of all of this. Oh, she's gonna look a little funky for a second. My process usually is me boop boo. This is the actually. Oh, I need to go back. Okay, I'm glad I did this because I had more detail on the sketch than I thought. I will usually try to get an idea roughly out of my head in my sketchbook nowadays, and you know, the anatomy is not too bad, but you know, like, let me grab a pen here, get a color. And my process might not work for everybody, but this is what I have found works for my brain. So I just kind of, because I have a hard time envisioning like a whole idea in my head So I'll get like half of an idea out in the sketchbook, but like her head, oops, make sure I'm on the right. Okay. So like I have her head, whoops, that's not a pen I want to use. Yeah, okay. So I got her head like stopping, like the top of her head stopping right here, but I have her hair sitting way too high on her head. And I am very grateful for digital art. I'm glad learning digital art made me a better artist, because now, since I'm not practicing enough, I can sit here and draw when I need to and move things around. I can put things in layers and tinker with it. That's how I've been learning. That's not necessarily the best way, but that's what I do. So I usually will start with, a rough sketch like this, and then I will load it in, and I'll just turn the opacity down. And then what I'll do is a sketch layer. And what I like to do to help my brain, again, is to break them up in different colors, so I can kind of see the pieces. And then I eventually, I get rid of that. After I go over it, I start, going, oh, whoops, don't delete that. I need that. Boo, boo, boo. I'll do the line art usually first. And something I need to do, again, practice, is I should really start like painting more, if that makes sense. I'm very much like, oh, I need it to be like a coloring book where I fill in the lines. Boop, turn that off. But so I've been kind of struggling with this piece. There's some anatomy things wrong with it. And then I realized I have this. I have this loaded. So when you're doing digital, as far as I've been told, boop. Go here. Dimensions can kind of be whatever you want, but you want at least 300 DPI, this bottom thing here. And it is at 72, because what I did was just import the picture and nothing else. So I have to restart this picture, much to my disgruntledness, because that means I have to sit down and redo something I just did, and my ADHD is like, no, that's too much work. I don't want to start over. But yeah, so like the image quality is really bad, and I got really frustrated and mad. But I'm just like, no, it's okay. It's all right. But yeah, just thought that would kind of help you guys. But that's usually my process. Same thing with this one. And it's still kind of sitting here. I try so hard not to have too many projects going at once, because if I do that, I think I remember I had a friend that she has so many sketchbooks, and I love her for it, because like that's what you should be doing. You should have all these drawings, and not every drawing needs to be a masterpiece. I think that's just where my brain gets stuck. But if I have too many projects or too many drawings like that, I feel like I get overwhelmed, and then none of them ever get done. So my magic number is 3. I try to have 3 main projects going on, and then yes, I have a bunch of doodles elsewhere that are like for later. So that's how I trick my brain. It's like, because if I have to focus on one project too long, it's not going to get done. I have to break it up somehow. So that's very similar. So not only do I need like 3 projects going at the same time, I need the music or a video playing, and it's a mess. My brain's a bit of a mess, but I'm hoping like by talking about it, it can kind of help other people not feel so, feel so bad if you're also struggling. Like everyone does everyone has their own struggles, and mine are very much tied to my neurodivergent brain. And I've just, again, between last year and most of my life, I've just been conditioned to feel bad about it. Just the not knowing, or not being able to keep up with everyone else. But in doing that, I was stunting my own self. Let's see here. Let me get. Oh, thanks for the hugs, Souls. Soul says that they remember struggling in middle school. I didn't want to do any work and never study, and I never liked history. But going out to countries changed your perspective. Hey, that's awesome. Yeah. I think you mentioned you were like in. Were you in an exchange program? Was that something you've mentioned before? Yeah. So that's a really great thing. Not what art can do, and the one class I did really good in was actually my art history class. Surprisingly. So that class, they taught us, art from around the world. I got to see the different types of art different countries made and why and what the symbolism was behind it. And I really fell in love with Native American type, like the style of art's not my favorite, but the reasoning and what they use their art for, love it. A lot of their art is used for medicine and healing, and a lot of times their art is they have things called sand paintings in some Native American cultures. And once the sand painting is done, it's the process, the journey of it being made is the healing part. They wipe it all away when they're done. And I've always found that really fascinating. And I have to remind myself it is the journey, not the destination. Let's see here. Yeah, so you were in an exchange program from Europe 3 weeks and saw some art in Europe. That's awesome. I remember this one exercise in my art history class where they showed a very, very well detailed drawing of a Native American man. And my teacher's like, so who do you think drew this? And people's brains just went straight to Native Americans. Like, no, a European drew a picture of a Native American guy. I just thought that was a silly thing. But yeah, I got super, super duper in to art history. Art is just art and music, anything creative. Like, I know it can be kind of a risky avenue to go down, especially if you want it to be a financial, it's something you live off of. And that's something I also struggle with because, I would really like to do that. And I still kind of plan on selling some of my art stuff here and there, but I do have a really hard time capitalizing my own art because it's more of it's a form of expression for me of who I am, what I'm about, and it gets a little hard to it's is it St. Patrick's Day? Gotta draw a St. Patrick's theme thing, and I know that'll get the clicks, that'll get the likes, and feed the algorithm, and it gets really hard, and it kind of burns my creativity sometimes. So I really give a huge kudos to artists that do commissions for people because I can see the burnout sometimes with that. When I can tell in creating somebody else's work, creation, kind of depletes some of their own creativity, I feel. Cause I work with customers all day already. So the idea of I'll do a picture for a friend every now and then, but doing a commission of someone's character, I'm just oh, because some people, if you don't put rules, some people get very nitpicky about stuff, and I think that's the part that kills the creativity for artists. Get caught up on chat. Okay, everything's still good. But yeah, that would just be kind of, I'm hoping it's helpful for you guys. I believe we've decided Friday to, if you guys want to, since we got more people in chat now, how do you feel about me continuing Detroit Become Human? I think I'm getting pretty close-ish to the end, and I do kind of want to finish it. I do have some other other games lined up to play after. Trying to see if there's any other drawings I can use as as an example. Oh yes, the Kirby one's a good one. This one, I just drew a bunch of doodles in my sketchbook. Boop, boop, boop. Doop, doo, doop, doo. Boop. Yeah, so this is just like a tiny doodle in my sketchbook, and then I just kind of went over it. Being able to, for me, for now, being able to do digital art and like manipulate the layers and move stuff around is how I'm learning to be a better artist. So again, not always the best way, but that's how I'm doing it for right now. Turn this all back on. Turn this off. That looks kind of creepy. So, doop doop doo. Yeah, and finding out like what my style is and how I like to draw digitally has been a whole thing as well. Let's see here. Lixie says this is why I don't do freelance tech work. As soon as I monetize something, I can't walk away from it. Yep, it's a commitment. You know, you're it's a lot. Because yeah, once monetary value comes into play when you're doing art, it really does change it. So you know, if you're thinking of being an artist that does commissions and stuff, just kind of keep that in mind and like give yourself breaks. Maybe some months you cut down how many, like I know you might need to afford stuff, but maybe you might need to cut some commission slots down and focus more on some of your projects so that way you don't burn out and you're still having fun with it. Oh, goodness gracious. Let's see. Check the chat. Yeah, I think I might, for any of the vertical watchers, I apologize. Again, still getting used to vertical streaming. If you want to see any of the images that I've been talking about, just head over to my channel and check out the video there. I completely forgot to incorporate that on the vertical stream, but hopefully just me talking about my experience was helpful to you guys. I think I might call it here in a minute. I should be back on Friday at 7 o'clock. And those in the Discord, or if you want to leave me a comment under the video, let me know. Let me know if you would like me to continue Detroit Become Human, or if you would really like me to continue Silent Hill. It was getting kind of interesting. It was cracking me up, for sure. Let's see. I did hit live, and I will take a picture and show you, Lixie, that I'm not lying. I don't know. Maybe I didn't hit live on I hit it on OBS, but I probably didn't hit it on the, what? Don't flip your, don't you give me attitude. But yeah, I'll see you guys this Friday for some more gaming. Let me know down in the comments or in the Discord if this was helpful in any way. My experience with academics is not a typical one. I struggled a lot with my learning, whether it was art or even just school in general. But never be afraid to learn something new. And if you don't know something, that doesn't mean you're dumb. You just don't know it yet. And remember that we all learn different. But yeah, if you guys really enjoyed this video and you enjoy hanging out in my little corner of the galaxy, I would really appreciate a subscribe, a like on the video. And yeah, have a wonderful week, guys. Please don't forget to be kind to yourself, and I'll see you on Friday, okay? Bye-bye.